Most people picture Raleigh as a booming tech hub, great food, fast growth, everything moving. And they're not wrong. But just outside the city are small towns with real character and a lifestyle most newcomers never see coming. My family and I moved here from Southern California 8 years ago, sight unseen. We learned a lot, just like our fun fact on this video about towns versus suburbs, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna get some DMs or a few comments how I actually called suburbs towns, but it's actually both. So today, I'm walking you through small towns, suburbs, near Raleigh that people are generally loving. I'm going over well-known spots and some totally off the radar places. So stick around because one of these might change your plans totally. So let's start with one of the crown jewels, Apex. And if you've done any research on the Triangle, you've probably already come across this town. There's a ton of reasons the town's motto is the peak of good living, and it actually earns it. Apex has been consistently ranked among the best places to live in America. And the moment you walk that downtown area, which is awesome, you start to understand why. Walkable main streets, local restaurants like Scratch Kitchen, which we love, coffee shops like Common Grounds, and a growing brewery scene, spots like Southern Peak Brewing have become real community anchors. And here's something most people don't know. Anchoring that downtown is a 1914, super cool, railroad Union Depot that still stands today. And that kind of authentic character is something new suburbs spend millions trying to manufacture and never quite pull off. This town sits in southwest corner of Wake County, putting you in easy reach of the Research Triangle Park and all the tech and life science jobs that come with it, which is amazing. And if you add the $4 to $7 billion invested from just the Veridity project, Apex is turning into the place to move in 2026. What makes Apex stand out is how the old and the new genuinely coexist. You have original brick storefronts from a century ago right next to brand new neighborhoods with top tier infrastructure. And of course, Wake County schools rank among the strongest in the state. And for anyone moving from a bigger city who wants a genuine small town feel without sacrificing schools or the commute access, Apex is hard to beat. Now real quick, if you're planning to move to the Triangle and want someone who's actually been through this themselves, like us, reach out to me. My number is right here on the screen. Call, text, or email us anytime. We love to help people figure out exactly where to land every single day. And we definitely would love to help you do the same. Now moving north of Raleigh, you got Wake Forest, and this is right in our backyard. And this one surprises almost everyone. Most people hear the name and immediately think of the university. But a lot of people don't know, Wake Forest College actually left in 1956. That's when it moved to Winston-Salem and became Wake Forest University. And the actual original campus became the Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. That one fact tells you how much history is layered into Wake Forest. And what remains is a real community, which is one of the most underrated historic downtowns in the Triangle. White Street has solid local restaurants like Farm to Table and Bodega's Tapas Wine and Rum, which Brandy and I love, boutique shops, and weekend farmers markets that draw crowds year-round from all throughout the Triangle. And you're only about 20 to 25 minutes north of downtown Raleigh, and while the town is growing fast, it still feels distinctly its own, which is getting harder to say the further north towards Raleigh keeps pushing. The value here is real. You get significantly more house for your dollar than in North Raleigh, while staying inside Wake County schools. And one of the many shining stars, Falls Lake State Recreation Area sits right at the edge of town. You can do some boating, hiking, trails, they have swimming areas, and awesome lake access for the weekends. And once people discover it, they talk about it constantly. You also have another one that we love, Fantasy Lake Adventure Park, which is 100 acres of freshwater lake. It's a destination which has an amazing scuba diving area and a 65-acre area of floating obstacles, cliff jumping, kayaking, and they've even put some sandy beaches there. It's a must go. Wake Forest has been quietly attracting a lot of biotech and life science presence that makes the local job market considerably more interesting than the name alone would suggest. And Wake Forest has one of the highest concentrations of PhDs in the country, and that is the anchor to the RTP. Wake Forest also has some of the most beautiful houses you will find in the Raleigh neighborhoods. Areas like Hazen Tree, Heritage, Galloway, and so many more. Now we head a little south of Raleigh and you hit Fuquay-Varina, or the FV as locals call it, because almost nobody knows the full name twice and they're like, did I say that right? And here's something most people relocating to the Triangle have never heard. Fuquay-Varina was actually two completely separate towns until 1963. Fuquay Springs was a destination known for its natural mineral springs. People traveled specifically for the supposed, well, I think real, health benefits of the water. That history of drawing people in goes back over a century before anyone was talking about this beautiful master plan communities that they have here. When they merge, what you got is one of the most in-demand spots in the Triangle. The craft brewery scene is legit, and the food scene downtown is not what most people expect. One of the anchors here is Aviator Brewing Company, and it's been a Triangle institution for years, and it's right there in town. The energy here is real, it's walkable, unpretentious, things are happening without feeling overproduced. Yet, Fuquay-Varina has been one of the fastest growing municipalities in North Carolina for multiple years running. And growth here brought new amenities and restaurants without swallowing up that character. And the good news is sitting south of Raleigh gives solid commute access to downtown and the expanding employment corridors along 401. And having a Costco in the area, which is right next to it in Garner to be exact, signals exactly that kind of retail infrastructure that tells buyers this town, is on the right trajectory. People end up in FV when they want something real, slightly edgy in the best way, and priced more accessibly than the more established spots that we've talked about. Now east of Raleigh, one of our number ones, you got Clayton. And this one, flies under the radar more than it should. It sits right off of I-40, giving you direct access to downtown Raleigh without the price tag that comes with being inside the Beltline. And what most people miss is that the art scene here is starting to take off in a way that echoes the early Fuquay-Varina. And I'm talking about Mill Number 1, or as the locals call it, the Mill. A repurposed 19th century textile mill turned into mixed use arts and creative office space in the heart of downtown Fuquay. And Clayton has a lot of similar places. And this place is evolving, it's not just growing. But here's what even more people overlook. The Neuse River runs directly through Clayton. Then the River Rock Trail along the Neuse gives residents water access, real trail miles, and a natural greenway that adds lifestyle value which most inland suburbs simply cannot offer. And it has a food scene that is developing fast that draws people in from across the Triangle, places like Octoon and Fiore's Italian. And when folks drive from Raleigh or Cary specifically to eat in a small town, that shows you something is definitely clicking. Now, housing is still among the most competitive in the area for new construction, and Johnson County schools have been improving steadily, with solid magnet and charter options worth researching. Here is the future value angle most buyers aren't even factoring in. When the NC 540 Outer Loop expansion completes, Clayton's commute profile gets dramatically more attractive. Infrastructure investment at this scale does not happen without a reason. And some of the reasons are like the $4.1 billion, I said billion, from Novo Nordisk that they're investing in Clayton, and yes, another $1 billion from Grifols Biotech. Need I say more? And here's one that almost never makes any list when people research the Triangle, and that's exactly why it belongs on this one: Pittsboro. It sits in Chatham County, about 30 to 35 minutes southwest of Raleigh, and genuinely, unlike anything else in the area, it is different. The feel is eclectic, artsy, and slow in the best possible way. For my California viewers, it reminds me a lot of Rancho Santa Fe. And it has a historic courthouse that almost comes right out of a movie. It really reminds me of that courthouse in Back to the Future. And it also has a local arts community quietly thriving for decades, and one of the most distinctive food ecosystems in the state. Chatham County has a deeply developed farm-to-table culture that draws food lovers from Raleigh and Chapel Hill who make the drive specifically for these restaurants. They come for restaurants like the Root Cellar and the Fearington House. The Fearington Village is where the Fearington House actually stands, and it's a boutique luxury community built around a 1786 farmstead with a nationally recognized inn. It has award-winning dining and its own herd of spotted, belted Galloway cattle. That alone tells you who the area attracts. What makes Pittsboro especially compelling right now is what's happening around it. The Chatham Park Master Plan development, which features Disney's Asteria community and a large-scale EV manufacturing facility, VinFast, is going up nearby. And this is fundamentally repositioning the area's economic future. You have a quiet, artsy, small town sitting right at the center of a major industrial build-out. Pittsboro in 5 years will look very different from today. And some of the tension between preserved character and what's coming up makes it very interesting, in my opinion. Pittsboro is one of the most undervalued spots on this entire list. Okay, now if you want something the Triangle hasn't fully caught on to yet, look at Wendell. It sits just east of Raleigh, and it's closer than people think. And it's built around a master plan community called Wendell Falls, which is awesome. And a fun fact, Wendell is one of the oldest incorporated towns in Wake County, dating back to 1903. So while it feels new, the roots run deep. Wendell Falls gets compared to places like Southern Village or Briar Chapel. It has walkable streets, resort-style pools, food truck nights, a community garden, and a real sense of neighborhood. But at a price point that is still genuinely accessible, unlike much of Chapel Hill. There's also a full town center that is coming that will shift the entire dynamic around 360. And beyond that development, the town itself has a historic downtown feel, has real local character, and a pace of life that feels completely different from Cary or Morrisville. It also has some great places to eat, like one of our favorites, Everest Kitchen. You can also go right around the corner and get a beer at the Bearded Bee or Caroline Brewing, which is right down the way. And if you don't catch a brew, you can get a cold coffee brew at 41 North and sit on the rooftop and look over all of downtown Wendell. The commute is consistently underestimated, about 20 to 25 minutes from downtown Raleigh on a good day. And it's definitely closer than some of the Cary neighborhoods that cost considerably more. But pricing here is still catching up to the market, meaning buyers coming in now are ahead of the curve. For anyone priced out of West Raleigh or North Hills who still wants an amenity-rich, new construction, lifestyle community near the city, Wendell and Wendell Falls is definitely worth a serious look. People who land here almost always say the same thing, and we brought a lot of people to Wendell Falls. They say, I wish I had found it sooner. And the last town I want to highlight is Hillsborough. And this, I've said this about a few of them, but this one might be one of the most overlooked places on this entire list. It's in the county seat of Orange County, about 25 minutes northwest of Raleigh, and just 10 minutes from Chapel Hill. The history here is genuinely remarkable. In 1788, Hillsborough is where North Carolina held its constitutional convention to debate ratifying the United States Constitution. Pretty awesome. And this town has that kind of weight to it, and you can feel it. The historic district is extraordinarily well preserved. Walking through it feels nothing like any master plan community that you've seen. Original 18th and 19th century architecture lines the streets. The Eno River State Park sits right at the edge of town with miles of trails and swimming holes and paddling access. And it has a food and art scene along Churton Street that punches well above what you'd expect for a town of this size. And what makes Hillsborough work practically is what I call the dual market dynamic. It's close enough to UNC and Chapel Hill to draw academics, artists, and creatives, but it's also fully reachable from Raleigh without a punishing commute. Home prices are still lower than you'd expect for Orange County, partly because this town does not market itself aggressively. And that's exactly the kind of opportunity that our buyers who know what they're looking for take advantage of before everyone else figures it out. And before we wrap, if you want to stay ahead of what's happening all across the Triangle, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We drop new videos just like this every single week, covering different areas, commute times, schools, and the best places to eat throughout Raleigh and the Triangle area. You don't want to be like us, piecing all this together after you've already made the move. So subscribe now so you've got us in your corner. Now, when you step back and look at all of these places, what you see is that the Triangle is not just one thing, not just downtown condos, not just tech campuses and the Silicon Valley of the East Coast. Just outside the city, you've got colonial towns with real history, artsy communities with genuine character, and master plan neighborhoods with serious value. And places sitting at the edge of something big that I have had the pleasure of watching and putting hundreds of our clients in all these areas. And the right fit really just comes down to the lifestyle you want to build, and we preach that all the time. And that answer looks different for everyone. So here's a question I wanted to ask. Which of these towns sounds most like the life you're looking for? Drop it below in the comments. I read every single one, and if you're considering a move to the Triangle, don't wait. Call us, text us, or email us anytime. My team and I navigate this every single day. But if you're still in research mode, no pressure. Check out our videos we put out every week, and also check out our sister channel, Life in Raleigh NC, for hundreds of videos about houses, different lifestyles, restaurants, schools, entertainment, and so much more. We moved here from Southern California 8 years ago, sight unseen. And that experience is exactly what drives everything we do in our business. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you on the next one.